Finally, we got answers to all our curious questions about what's inside the brain. In this recording, our renowned guest, Dr. Pavan Kumar K, a psychiatrist, is here us to help us to navigate about what's inside the brain. ఆయన మాకు బ్రెయిన్ గురించి, మెంటల్ హెల్త్ గురించి, ఓవరాల్ హెల్త్ గురించి, అండ్ హౌ స్పిరిచువాలిటీ కెన్ ఓవర్కమ్ mental health problems and varied topics మీద discuss చేశాం, and it is one of the interesting 3 hours in my life. Kudos to sir, he has explained us every single thing to laymen like us in mental health. చాలా మంది నేను చూసిన దాంట్లో నాకు చాలా కొత్త కొత్త విషయాలు తెలిసాయి మెంటల్ హెల్త్ గురించి. సో టీమ్ అప్ ఈజ్ అవర్ స్టార్ట్అప్. We are group of innovators, designers, thinkers, investors and everybody who came together to push the boundaries of technology and show impact in the world. So team up lopala we worked in varied streams like health, agriculture, edutech, legal tech, so many other things. So a field lo aina memu velli touch chesinappudu we get opportunity to meet most interesting people in that domain. సో వాళ్ళతో మీట్ అయినప్పుడు జరిగిన కాన్వర్జేషన్స్, ఆ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ వాటిని ప్రిజర్వ్ చేయడానికి ఈ వీడియోగ్రాఫిక్ ప్రిజర్వేషన్ కోసం మేము ఈ రికార్డింగ్ చేయడం జరిగింది. అండ్ ఇఫ్ ఎనీబడి ఫీల్స్ దిస్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ యాజ్ యూస్ఫుల్ టు దెమ్ ఫర్ దేర్ రీసెర్చెస్, ఫర్ దేర్ నాలెడ్జ్, వాళ్ళ క్యూరియాసిటీని ఫీడ్ చేయడానికి ఏమైనా యూజ్ అవుతుందంటే ఫీల్ ఫ్రీ టు యూజ్ అస్. వీఆర్ ఆల్వేస్ హియర్ టు పుష్, షేర్ knowledge about technology. Thank you.
Couple of lines about you from your own words, sir.
I'm Dr. Pavan Kumar K. I have done my psychiatry from SPS Medical College, Mahabubnagar, and I've been practicing here for the last 15 years now. I'm also associated with Medical College, Chelmada Anandra Institute of Medical Sciences. I'm a professor and head of the Department of Psychiatry there. So this is in short about me. I have, as far as the organization work is concerned, I am a very active member of Indian Psychiatric Society Telangana State Branch and Indian Psychiatric Society National. I worked at various levels. I was also Honorary General Secretary of Indian Psychiatric Society Telangana State Branch. I worked in various committees and subcommittees of National IPSS.
So we are, I think I speak for all of us here.
Yeah.
Most of us at any stage of our life, we are always curious about psychology, but only few of us actually pursue it. What ignited it for you?
Basically, neurology, brain is something which is not very well explored, and always wanted to do something which is associated with neurology. So that's what generated the interest in psychiatry as well. So one of my professor told me, neurology, at least you know what is happening. Psychology, we do not know what exactly is happening. So that fascinated me. So that's where my interest towards psychiatry grew.
Okay, so we understand that ఈ రీజన్తో మీకు ignition స్టార్ట్ అయింది. బట్ ఈస్ దర్ ఎనీ డిఫరెన్స్ బిట్వీన్ యువర్ స్టాన్స్, ఒక సైకాలజీ అనే పర్స్పెక్టివ్ మీరు స్టార్ట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఏదో అండ్ ఓవర్ డికేడ్ ఎక్స్పీరియన్స్ ఉంది ఇప్పుడు మీకు?
That's an interesting question actually. See, when we started the journey like in psychiatry, or when I basically wanted to take up psychiatry, like most of us, even MBBS at the level of MBBS also, we do not have much exposure to psychiatry. So we were of the opinion that what we think is the mind and all these things. So after entering into the psychiatry, we understood the brain and mind relationship. Okay, so earlier we used to think mind is different, brain is different, but after entering into the psychiatry, we basically what I understood is there are some actions that are going on in the brain which are responsible for the mind. So that's where it all sinks now.
ఇంట్రెస్ట్. వాళ్ళకి సైకాలజీ ప్రాబ్లం అంటే ఏంటి, దాని వల్ల ఎఫెక్ట్స్ ఏముంటాయి, అది బెటర్ ఉండడం వల్ల వాళ్ళ ప్రొడక్టివిటీ ఎలా ఇంక్రీజ్ అవుతుంది, వాళ్ళ లైఫ్ స్టైల్ ఎలా చేంజ్ అవుతుంది, దే కెన్ బి బెటర్ వర్షన్ ఆఫ్ దెమ్సెల్స్ అనేది.
Yeah. See, the thing is, unfortunately, we do not have much awareness in the society. Okay, not to the level that should have been there. So వాళ్ళు ప్రవర్తనలో తేడా ఉంది. ప్రాబబ్లీ కల్చరల్ ఫ్యాక్టర్ ఇస్ there might be something that is going on and black magic or these things. So they are more, ఇంకోటి ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళ acceptance is also at a better level when they go to faith healer than when they go to psychiatrist. బికాస్ ద టర్మ్ సైకాట్రీ అనగానే వాళ్ళకు ఒక స్టిగ్మా సైకో అని ఇప్పుడు మనం చూస్తున్నాం మీడియాలో కూడాను. ఎక్కడైనా ఏదైనా ఇష్యూ ఉంటే the media portrays the psycho. This has created a stigma.
Yes.
So there it could have been more acceptable గా చెప్పొచ్చు వాళ్ళు. Someone who is not well within the reality of the mind అని చెప్పొచ్చు. But they use this term, and this has become so norm that everyone who's not agreeing with another, the other person feels that the other person is psycho.
World is full of psychos.
That is what the impression that they are giving me.
Yes.
So ఏ ఛానల్ చూసినా ఏ మూవీ చూసినా ఏ ఇది చూసినా కూడాను దట్ హాస్ క్రియేటెడ్ అ లాట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంపాక్ట్ ఆన్ ది సైకీ ఆఫ్ ద పీపుల్.
Is it also a reason that ఇప్పుడు మనం every illness or and I think depression is a very common term మనం use that there is I don't think అందరి symptoms ఒకేలా ఉండవు. So is that also a reason why people are not able to empathize enough?
See, what is the threshold for something like ఇప్పుడు ఇది 1-2 days continue?
Yes, I was coming to that. See, Hinduism practice లో చూసుకుంటే if there is a death in the family till 14 days they mourn. Okay, because 14 days లో individual will cope up with the loss, and then after 14 days they usually get back to their life. Okay, so this is all scientifically placed there. Okay, so if it is extending beyond 2 weeks, after 2 weeks also the individual is feeling low, he is not able to move out. అక్కడి నుంచి 2 weeks వరకు తీసుకుంటాం. If it is persisting beyond a month's period of time, then probably there is a need for intervention. Okay, they need help.
Sir, it's like అంటే మీరు ఒక పేషెంట్ వచ్చినప్పుడు you should be like some investigation officer and
see, we have to gather information from all the possible sources to arrive at most accurate diagnosis.
Yes, sir. And you should know small things, whether they are watching TV and I mean something like whether they are spending time with their family or not. And మీరు అడిగే క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్ని పర్స్పెక్టివ్ లో అడిగి then you will infer.
అంటే if you see health అనుకుంటే if you see the definition of health is defined as a state of complete physical, mental, social and spiritual well-being, not merely an absence of disease or infirmity. If you split the definition of the health, physical, apart from physical, social, mental and spiritual health being are all concerned with psychology or psychiatry. Okay, and we say a human being is healthier, is said to be healthy when he is functioning optimally, his social relations are good, his biological relations are good. Okay, so any impairment in these areas, there is a problem.
If I can pick on someone and I can say that I can flag them, need support kavali.
So these are red flag signs if you want to talk about. But you see, always we need to see whether there is a contrast in their functioning from the previous level of functioning. Okay, నిన్నటి వరకు బాగానే ఉంది తను, last 2 weeks you are seeing that she is not her usual self. Okay, she was cheerful earlier, she is not cheerful now. Okay, she used to take initiative, she is not taking initiative now. Okay, so there should be a contrast that you can observe. Okay, so that's one red flag sign. People who are expressing suicidal ideations. Okay, suicidal ideations need not necessarily be an active expression of suicidal ideations. Sometimes it can be passive as well. Like, wish I would be dead. Okay, wish there is no tomorrow. Okay, I don't feel like living. Okay, these are some of the subtle expressions of suicidal ideation, and few people actually say I want to die. Okay, so these expressions we need to be aware of. Okay, and functioning కావచ్చు, productivity కావచ్చు. Okay, and moving out, socializing, ఇవన్నీ కూడా earlier, see, it's not possible for a human being to attend all activities every time, but usually we make it a point that we attend most of it, and we make sure that we arrange our schedules to suit our needs kada. But someone who's not doing it on a regular consistent basis, there is a red flag sign.
ఒక పర్సన్ ఒక డైలీ లైఫ్ లో యాక్టివిటీస్ రాకుండా ఉండి వాళ్ళు ప్రీవియస్ లైఫ్ ఇంతకుముందు ఎలా ఉండేవాళ్ళు అలా ఉండలేకుండా ఉన్నప్పుడే then we have to assess the symptoms, and otherwise small percentage of anything is fine.
Fine.
Yeah.
See, ups and downs are common in life.
Yes.
Okay, that does not mean they have a problem.
Yeah.
But if the down is persisting for a long, or even a very high level of functioning is also persisting for long, okay, then that's where we need to intervene.
Yeah.
Now, if you particularly talking about symptom or the treatment gap, so the recently concluded mental health survey that is by NIMHAN, which says there is a 75 to 80% treatment gap in psychiatry. అంటే 100 మెంబర్స్ ఉంటే ఓన్లీ 20% ఆర్ రిసీవింగ్ ద ట్రీట్మెంట్, ది అదర్ 80% ఆర్ నాట్ ఈవెన్ టు ద కాంటాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది హెల్త్ కేర్. సో సచ్ అ వైడ్ గ్యాప్ ఇస్ దేర్.
వీఆర్ ఇప్పుడు టిక్ టాక్ సమ్ ఇన్స్టాగ్రామ్ రీల్స్ చూస్తున్నప్పుడు వాట్ డేటా వీఆర్ ఫీడింగ్ ఇస్ విచ్ టైప్ ఆఫ్ వీడియోకి మనం ఎంత రియాక్ట్ అవుతున్నాం అనేది వీఆర్ ఫీడింగ్ ఇట్. సో
we are spending on specific content or specific hashtags.
సంథింగ్ లైక్ ఇలా కన్సిడర్ చేస్తే ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ ఐఎమ్ వాచింగ్ మోర్ అబౌట్ మెంటల్ హెల్త్ ఇష్యూస్ గురించి నేను రీల్స్ లో చూస్తున్నాను, సంథింగ్ లైక్ క్రికెట్ గురించి వచ్చినప్పుడు ఐఎమ్ స్కిప్పింగ్ ఇట్. సో వాట్ ద ఇంజనీర్స్ అవుట్ దేర్ సిట్టింగ్ ఇన్ ద ల్యాబ్ విల్ ఫిగర్ అవుట్ దట్ ట్యాగ్ మీ యాజ్ ఏ మెంటల్ హెల్త్ గురించి ఎక్స్ప్లోర్ చేస్తున్న వాళ్ళగా ఒక త్రీ మంత్స్ విండో ఓపెన్ చేస్తారు.
డిజిటల్ మ్యాపింగ్ యూ వాంట్ టు టాక్.
Yes.
Yeah. This is the new thing actually that is happening. We also are want to explore this digital technology in application in psychiatry. Okay. So there are some specific keywords which people will search for. Okay. So how ఇంకా ఇప్పటివరకున్న దాంట్లో అయితే ఇప్పటికి ఇంకా వ్యాలిడేటెడ్ గా ఏమీ లేదు, బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఇన్ ప్రాసెస్. Digital biomarkers are in process. So what we wanted to do was like there is a research that is already going on. How effectively can we, or how conclusively can we identify a person who is searching on mental health to be suffering from something?
Yes.
Okay, and most commonly it will be the people who have depression or anxiety that will search. If you look at in a broader prospect, psychiatry lo we have neurotic conditions, we have psychotic conditions. Neurotic conditions, the basis of all the neuroses is anxiety or worry, depression, where patient is aware that there is something wrong with him. In psychotic conditions, where the patient is not aware that there is something wrong with him, it is the family members who will identify there is a problem with this person.
ఇప్పుడు I wanted to understand, ఇప్పుడు while we were talking about symptoms some time ago, most of the times we are googling all the symptoms, and అవి అన్ని 100% true symptoms అవ్వవు, and there is a concept of psychosomatic symptoms as well. So how do an individual understand that ఇది వాళ్ళు సెల్ఫ్ గా అనుకుంటున్న symptoms అని, or how do you usually identify?
See, there is something also called as illness anxiety disorder. Okay, illness anxiety disorder, where individual will feel that there is something wrong with it, and they go on searching various sites and all these things. Okay, that itself is a problem. Okay, so first to start off with, it will start like an anxiety if they have an illness and it, and as it goes on, it will transform, that anxiety will transform into a delusion. Delusion is fixed belief. Okay, anxiety is to and fro. Okay, సో ఉండొచ్చు లేదొచ్చు అనేటువంటిది యాంగ్జైటీ, లేదు నాకు ఉంది అనడం అనేటువంటిది ఇంకా డెల్యూషన్. అండ్ దిస్ యూజువలీ వి సీ విత్ పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ విత్ మెడికల్ ఫీల్డ్. ఓకే, పారామెడికల్ వర్కర్స్, డాక్టర్స్, సైకాట్రిక్ నర్సెస్, వీళ్ళలో ఎక్కువ చూస్తూ ఉంటాం, బికాస్ దే ఆర్ ఎక్స్పోజ్డ్ టు సో మెనీ కండిషన్స్ ఆక్యుపేషనల్లీ, బికాస్ దే విల్ బి డీలింగ్ విత్ మోస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ద టైమ్స్ ఇన్ఫెక్షియస్ కండిషన్స్ వాటికి వీటికి. And what commonly we see is people have fear of having HIV infection. Okay, so nurses, medical workers, paramedical workers, doctors sometimes, and particularly in the COVID period. Okay, COVID and post-COVID era, we have seen a lot of doctors coming to us with anxiety problems, particularly illness anxieties, and OCD. They wrongly diagnose themselves as OCD sometimes. Okay. కొంతవరకు కొంత నార్మలైజేషన్ కూడా అయింది ఓసిడి, యూ కెన్ సే సో,
Yeah.
బికాస్ హైజీన్ ప్రాక్టీసెస్ పెరిగినాయి. People have accepted this to be norm. See, anything that is illness is something which should affect self or others. Otherwise, it is not an illness.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can be it is a hobby.
How? It is normal.
Yeah. The new app Snapchat is one of the apps. So అది హ్యాబిట్ బిల్డింగ్ ఎలా చేయగలుగుతుందంటే స్నాప్చాట్ హ్యాస్ ఎ స్ట్రీక్ సిస్టమ్. సో స్ట్రీక్ ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ ఐ సెండ్ ఎవ్రీ డే ఎవ్రీ 24 hours కు ఫోటో నా ఫ్రెండ్స్ అందరికి. అట్లా నేను ఒక 50 days పెట్టాను అనుకోండి, నాకు 50 స్ట్రీక్ అని కౌంట్ కనపడుతుంది సార్. 50 స్ట్రీక్ ఒకవేళ ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ ఐ మిస్ వన్ డే ద స్ట్రీక్ విల్ బి లాస్ట్. సో వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్ is they are able to build an habit showing a digital number or something which in their minds has value. That number doesn't have value in real world, but in their mind that streak has real value. So our real world lo ante imaginary concepts ni create chesi వాటితో హ్యాబిట్స్ ని బిల్డ్ చేస్తున్నారు. సో habit might not be good for everything. So if at all someone is addicted to Snapchat or someone is addicted to Instagram by their habit building persuasion techniques, that is not good, sir. So there is another app called Duolingo or some exercises app are maintaining streaks for building ఈ హ్యాబిట్స్ ని బెటర్ గా బిల్డ్ చేయడానికి చేస్తున్నారు. సో సార్ in this area, if at all అంటే like you are mentioning RCTs, if at all we would be able to start some RCTs. సో వాళ్ళు మెడికేషన్ కరెక్ట్ టైం కి వేసుకుంటున్నారా లేదా, లేకపోతే ఈ డిఫరెంట్ ఏరియాస్ లో ఎక్కడ మెంటల్ హెల్త్ లో మనం సార్ వన్ ఆఫ్ ద థింగ్ ఇస్ స్మోకింగ్ క్విట్ చేయడానికి ఇఫ్ ఎట్ ఆల్ వీఆర్ ఏబుల్ టు బిల్డ్ ఏ ఫ్రేమ్వర్క్, వాళ్ళు ఎలా ఏ స్ట్రక్చర్ లో చేయాలి, వాళ్ళకి రివార్డ్స్ ఇచ్చి.
దిస్ ఎ కాంబినేషన్ ఆఫ్ ఫ్యాక్టర్స్. ఇక్కడ మీరు చెప్పినంత కూడా కాగ్నిటివ్ బిహేవియరల్ థెరపీ అండ్ టోకెన్ ఎకానమీ అనేటువంటి ఒక ప్రొసీజర్స్ ఉంటాయి. సో సిబిటీలో ఏమవుతుంది, ఇప్పుడు సపోజ్ వెయిట్ లాస్ ఉంది, యూ విల్ టేక్ వెయిట్ లాస్ సిబిటీ ఫర్ ద వెయిట్ లాస్, ఒబెసిటీ. సో వాళ్ళకి ఏం చెప్తాము, డైలీ దే హ్యావ్ టు చెక్ దేర్ వెయిట్. ఓకే. సో వాట్ దే హ్యావ్ టు అప్రిషియేట్ ఈస్ that 20 gram loss per day or a 50 gram loss per day, that itself will serve as a motivational factor to do it further.
Yes.
Okay. So every day 50 grams or 100 grams decline from the previous will motivate them to do it further. Okay, 100 grams loss ayyanu, 50 grams loss ayyanu, 200 grams loss ayyanu. Basically human being works on a drive theory. If you get a reward, you do it more.
Yes.
Okay, if you're not getting a reward, that's the end of it. Okay, so that is one way of restructuring the cognition. Okay, making them stick on to the therapies. And second thing, what you said, token economy procedures, some reward, what you are telling. You in psychiatry we have this called token economy program, where we usually use it for social skills training. Okay. For severely ill persons who have had illness for a long period of time, where they cannot actually impairment in there is a gross impairment in social skills over a period of time, they don't perform functionally totally. So this program is like we have them in a rehab setup where we give some tokens. Okay, every good work that they do. Morning levangane, when we come across he smiled, we give one token. Okay, and he helped his colleague when he held his colleague while prevented him from falling, we give another token. So there is nothing like a రోజుకి ఇన్ని tokens ఇస్తామని ఏం లేదు, బట్ ఒక 3-4 good works ఒక token. There is no fixed ratio or no fixed interval, random గానే ఇవ్వడు. So what that does is it increases the chances of accepted behavior more. Okay, so that way we train in social skills.
Yes.
So this is something similar what you're talking about.
Yes,
reward ఇవ్వడం అనేటువంటి.
Yes, that like same thing digital గా ఇవ్వడం వల్ల scale we can increase.
Scale, that's
and personalized to one person. And if at all you are running the rehab, మీరు అందరినీ చూసి చేయడం కన్నా డిజిటల్ గా చేయడం వల్ల it will be easier for.
డిజిటల్ గా అంటే దిస్ కెన్ బి అప్లైడ్ అట్ హోమ్ సెటప్. మీరు చెప్పింది డిజిటల్ గా ఇవ్వడం అనేటువంటి, నేను చెప్పింది ఏంటంటే యూజువల్లీ డన్ ఇన్ ద రీహాబ్ సెటప్.
Yes. So coming back to the topic, Sir, I was thinking that mental health frameworks, and a good mental health or someone, one aspect is physical health is also part of keeping mental health ready. So keeping our car ready to go. I mean, it is like keeping our infrastructure ready for good mental health. And also physical health తో పాటు యోగా వీటితో పాటు how spirituality can help in make building a good mental health.
See, yoga, spirituality, okay, these all have a role in curing many of the mental conditions, especially depression.
Yeah.
Okay, particularly to depression. ఏమవుతుంది అంటే we have a understanding that everything we cannot control when you are more spiritual.
Yeah.
Okay, we accept the reality as it is. ఎప్పుడు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ వస్తాయి హ్యూమన్ బీయింగ్ విత్ హిస్ ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్ ఈస్ డిస్టర్బ్డ్ అన్నది ద హార్మోనీ ఈస్ డిస్టర్బ్డ్ అన్నప్పుడు పీపుల్ విల్ కమ్ ఇన్ టు ప్రాబ్లమ్స్. ఓకే, సో స్పిరిచువాలిటీ విల్ బ్రిడ్జ్ దట్ గ్యాప్.
Yeah.
ఓకే, భగవద్గీత ఆర్ ఎనీథింగ్ ఫర్ దట్ మ్యాటర్.
Yeah. Sir, do you personally go back to anything in Bhagavad Gita or something? I mean, you said, or else generally doctors say that they see patients they patients always has independence to take medicine or
Their
not,
choices.
their choices, and that is the beauty of that is why we are called humans, that we can think of our own. If they want to make suffer themselves, I mean, if they don't want to cure their problem, they cannot. They can do that also. If they want to cure, they can. So brain is something like that. So if knowing that, knowing if someone is not causing self harm, and మీరు డే టు డే మీరు అయినా జనరల్ గా డాక్టర్స్ అయినా how they I mean how it affects you personally, your mental health, and how you will stabilize that, sir, generally.
See, we are all advocates of health, not arbitrators, basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so we tell what is right, what is in the best interest of the patient.
Yeah.
Whoever comes to us, we give advice. It is for them to accept or not. Okay. In some, except in particularly in psychiatry, the rest of all the areas, this is how the practice is.
Yeah.
But when it's in psychiatry, in particular, if I have to talk, there are some conditions where if we are of the opinion, psychiatrist is of the opinion that the individual is threat to himself or the others. Okay. So because this is concerned with thinking and behavior aspects, two aspects are involved here. So if we find or if we are of the opinion that the patient is threat to himself or the others, it can be suicide or a homicide.
Yeah.
Okay. So there we have a mechanism to inform and make sure that this safety of the individual is paramount there.
Yeah.
So there we retaining despite his will.
Yes.
Okay.
సార్ బట్ డే ఇన్ డే అవుట్ మీరు ఇలాంటి పేషెంట్స్ చాలా మంది చూస్తూ ఉంటారు, బట్ హౌ డస్ ఇట్ ఎఫెక్ట్ యూ అండ్ హౌ ఆర్ యూ కోపింగ్ అప్ విత్ దట్?
See, the framework is already been made by the legal system. Okay, we just have to follow there. And yes, does it affect you at the personal level? Sometimes. Okay, knowing that it will see, we tell the patient to take medications, they won't take medications, and they say that everything is fine with that. Okay, they're not to that level where they need admission, but despite that they refuse medications. Now the new law that is brought in, that is MHCA 2017, Mental Health Care Act 2017. If the patient has capacity to make treatment decisions, then everything should be according to the patient's treatment choices. Okay. Only exceptions are when the patient is suicidal or when the patient is there is a potential harm to others from the patient. These are the only two exceptions. But otherwise, you have to go with whatever the choice that patient makes. If it is wrong, it may be wrong. He is entitled for his decision. He is entitled for his opinion. So that's where things are cut off now. The now system is more foolproof that the burden, the onus is not on the doctor. The onus is on the family. The onus is on the patient himself. Okay, patient themselves. So that's all. Families come to us after someone has committed suicide, and they come and say, "You sir, you guided us well, but he didn't listen. We were also not in a position to influence him to make the choices. So there again the grief process will start and
ఇంకొక సేమ్ ఉంటుంది లైక్ మెడిసిన్ ని ఏదో నార్మల్ గా తీసుకుంటే బాడీ యాక్సెప్ట్ చేయలేదు లైక్ మనము క్యూర్ చేయాలి డిసీజ్ క్యూర్ చేయాలి అని తీసుకుంటే
ఒకటి ఏంటంటే రీసెర్చ్ లో ప్లాసిబో ఎఫెక్ట్ అని ఒకటి
Yes.
ఓకే సో I can give you any pill and say this is a wonder drug and it will cure you. Okay, that belief system itself will have a positive effect. Okay, if you see the psychology or neuroscience of the belief, neuroscience of the belief లో ఏముంటుంది అంటే వన్స్ యూ స్టార్ట్ బిలీవింగ్ ఇన్ సంథింగ్, ఇప్పుడు మీరు గుడికి వెళ్తారు, ఓకే, గుడికి వెళ్ళగానే మీలో ఉన్నటువంటి వైబ్ ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ యూ ఫీల్ ద ఎనర్జీ లెవెల్స్ విల్ బి హై. ఎందుకు? బికాస్ యూ గో విత్ అ ఫేత్. ఓకే, ఆ ఫేత్తో వెళ్ళినప్పుడు యూ ఫీల్ ద పాజిటివిటీ అరౌండ్. ఇస్ ఇట్ నాట్? సో సిమిలర్ థింగ్ విత్ మెడిసిన్ ఆల్సో. ఓకే, మీకు నమ్మకం లేని దగ్గర వెళ్ళారు, ఇట్ విల్ బి జస్ట్ లైక్ అ మాన్యుమెంట్ ఫర్ యూ, నాట్ సంథింగ్ విచ్ ఇస్ గోయింగ్ టు చేంజ్ యువర్ లైఫ్ ఆర్ పర్స్పెక్టివ్. సో యూ డోంట్ ఫీల్.
హిప్నోసిస్ లాగే మనం ఊహించుకున్న దగ్గర క్రియేట్ అయినట్టు అనిపించడం.
సార్ మీరు ఇంత గ్రీవ్ ఆ సిచ్యువేషన్ చెప్పారు కదా సార్. సో జనరల్ గా యూ హ్యావ్ యువర్ ఓన్ వే టు కోప్ విత్ ఇట్. బట్ జనరల్ హ్యూమన్ అంటే ఎవ్రీడే పర్సన్స్ లైక్ మీ, ఇఫ్ ఇట్ ఆల్ సమ్వన్ ఐ నో దట్ సమ్వన్ హ్యాస్ ఎ లాస్, నేను వాళ్ళతో మాట్లాడాలి, వాళ్ళకి సపోర్ట్ సిస్టమ్ లాగా ఉండాలి. లేదు సమ్మన్ ఈస్ డిప్రెస్డ్, సమ్మన్ హ్యాస్ సమ్ టెంపరీ ప్రాబ్లం, సమ్మన్ హ్యాస్ gone through something. So వాళ్ళని అంటే this is a general thing sir, they are not any with any, but what we are, I mean personally whenever I have to go and talk to them, I we will be anxious, we will be ఏది చెప్పాలి అనేది. So is there any right words or right way to address people with mental health issues, or people who are grieving, or people who are somewhat in a face some loss, అట్లాంటి వాళ్ళకి how we can
See, just lending the shoulder to lean on and support.
yeah.
See, they don't want advisors there. They want someone to be with them. Most of the times it is like that.
Yes.
Okay. It is a phase they have to pass through. They want a companion to pass through that grief.
Yeah.
Okay. It is everyone will say it is an irreparable loss. A personal loss is something which is irreparable, and definitely they will have its effects. Okay, everyone will have such an effect. Maybe the level of the effect might differ from individual to individual on a personal level, but ఉండదు అనేది ఏం లేదు. Some people are expressive, they express. Some people are not so expressive, they grieve within themselves. Okay, so you just have to be with them, hear them out.
Yes sir.
Hear them out. That is going to be the key. Okay.
Yeah.
Even in psychotherapies, when we deal with families, depression or suicidal ideations, they are all cry for help. Okay. They don't want their family members or friends to judge them or suggest them. They just want them to be around, just be there, listen to whatever they speak, okay, and be there. Just to hear them.
Someone unjudged without
Non-judgmental గా అక్కడ పక్కన కూర్చొని
yeah.
they just have to letting it out. Ventilation is also important.
Like some phobias. And phobia something
rational fears ఉండొచ్చు లేదా irrational గా పెరిగితే phobia అవ్వచ్చు. How do you know? Again the question comes back to the same, how much is too much and how do we
See, fear is something fear is only an anxiety. Okay, fear is anxiety of unknown. You don't know what is causing, but you feel anxious about something. That is fear. Fear to a particular or specific. So I am afraid of heights. Everyone is afraid of heights. Okay, but do I avoid going to heights because of that? No.
okay. If we avoid
Okay.
Should we actually address every phobia and deal with it? Karu? Should we force ourselves to come out of it? Is it necessary?
Is it good to have avoidance?
I mean, suppose if I'll say my fear is lizards or any reptiles, I can't stand them.
Anything that is crawling.
Anything that is crawling, yeah. Yeah, so should I really actually build a resistance to it? లేదా దాన్ని ఫైట్ చేయాల్సిన అవసరం ఉందా? Avoidance is best అని నాకు అనిపిస్తుంది.
Avoidance is best and we can listen. How, will you be able to avoid in every situation?
I would like to think that I can, but I know that it's not possible.
Not possible, right? Yeah. Does it affect your day-to-day work?
If it is there in the same space, yes. Yes. But Dani,
Suppose there is a lizard here.
I don't want to have it on camera. It does affect a lot to a point where I can't breathe if I see them around. So, ala annappudu, in most of the cases, I mean, in my case, it was lizards, and now it is on record, and everybody has every other phobias about it. ప్రతి ఒక్కరు దాన్ని ఎలా అడ్రస్ చేయగలుగుతారు?
See, once it starts affecting one their activities, need for intervention, clear cut. Okay, there is no two ways of looking at it. And ఎలా చేయాలి? There is a graded desensitization అని ఒక టెక్నిక్ ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, సిస్టమాటిక్ desensitization టెక్నిక్ ఉంటుంది. సపోజ్ ఇఫ్ ఐ let's take only your case for a moment. Okay, so you say lizards, you are feared. Okay, suppose the lizard is there on that one. Are you afraid? No. This is your room. If it is there on that particular one, are you afraid?
Imaginary lizard to kuda I am. So yeah.
Okay. Suppose if it is there on this table. Okay. So this is how it goes. So to what extent you are affected?
And that works in most of the other phobias as well, right? Okay, so ఇప్పుడు మనం every given chance intervention individual గానే తీసుకోవడానికి వస్తుందా లేదా well our loved ones can finally push us to take care of
Questions, yes.
Okay, they are not
Yeah.
తనం లాగా చూస్తే దీనికి భయపడతావా అనే సిచ్యువేషన్ లో వచ్చి బయటకు వచ్చి మాట్లాడడానికి కూడా సగం సరే భయపడతారు.
And most of the fear is the conditioned response. Okay. Fear is a conditioned response.
And the solution from our loved ones is don't be afraid of it.
అరే చిన్నప్పుడు మనకు వాళ్ళే చెప్పారు అక్కడ బల్లు ఉంది పోపో.
ఎగ్జాక్ట్లీ
ఓకే,
ఇక్కడ కుక్క ఉంది ఎల్లుకో అక్కడ పిల్లి ఉంది బూచాడు ఉన్నాడు అని భయపెట్టి
that is where you got conditioned. Okay. Oh, the phobias is a very interesting story. There is a little Albert and it's given in the description. So he was conditioned to a cat in his growing years. Okay, అక్కడ క్యాట్ ఉంది వెళ్ళకు, అక్కడ క్యాట్ ఉంది వెళ్ళకు, అక్కడ క్యాట్ ఉంది వెళ్ళకు. So after that what happened? He identified the cat with the fur that it had. So everything that had a fur he was afraid of. Okay, so he has generalized his phobia onto everything, every animal or everything that has a fur on it.
రాషనల్ కాషన్ తెప్పిద్దాం అనుకొని కండిషన్ చేసేది ఇట్ బికమ్స్ అన్ ఇర్రాషనల్ ఫియర్ ఇన్ లేటర్ పాయింట్ ఆఫ్ టైమ్స్.
Yes. So in every human, there will be 1 to 2% of period fear. Does it come from the PMDD or PMS or like phobia? What?
PMDD is entirely a different entity. PMS is a different entity. Okay. Phobias regarding having menses I have not come across. So maybe before menarche, if they are not trained or have educated properly, probably they might have what if I get my attain menarche అనేటువంటిది. And still some sections of the society see it as a taboo to talk about, okay, and to discuss about it. That is there.
Maybe one of problem కూడా అదే అయి ఉండొచ్చు కదా. I mean fear problem మాట్లాడలేకపోవడం.
People will not be particular because we are from a conservative society. We are not an open society where we can discuss most of the things freely. Okay, that is the system we have. సో ఇక్కడ ఏమవుతుంది అంటే పీపుల్ మే నాట్ బి ఓపెన్ టు టాక్ అబౌట్ ఇట్. People will be snubbed talking about it when they want to talk about it, and the repressed feelings will generate anxiety. Okay, they want to talk about their menarche and menstrual issues. Mother or father or grandfather says, no, no, you are not supposed to talk about these things. So there are a lot of things that they want to convey, and we are preventing them to talk about it. So that they hold it, and it becomes a point where they no longer can hold it. That becomes anxiety. Okay, and that anxiety will manifest as fear. Okay, and whole lot of symptoms follow. It can be an irritability, it can be a depression, it can be anxiety, it can be somatic complaints. Anything can follow here.
Can you just suggest where to the checkup అంటే వాళ్ళు వాళ్ళ symptoms ని చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి, ఇది డిప్రెషన్ అంటే ఇది ఇట్లా అది మనం ఎప్పుడు సైకియాట్రిస్ట్ ని కన్సల్ట్ అవ్వాలి ఆర్ థెరపీకి వెళ్ళాలి?
ఇంతకుముందు డిస్కస్ చేశాం కదా, వెన్ ఎవర్ దర్ ఇస్ అ కాంట్రాస్ట్ ఆన్ ది ప్రీవియస్ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఫంక్షనింగ్. ఓకే, డైలీ యాక్టివిటీస్ ఎఫెక్ట్ అయ్యాయి, అండ్ దెర్ ఇస్ అ డిస్టింక్ట్ చేంజ్ ఆఫ్ ఫంక్షనింగ్ ఫ్రమ్ ది ప్రీవియస్ లెవెల్ ఆఫ్ ఫంక్షనింగ్. దట్ ఇస్
Nice. Sir, what is every mental health problem has one solution is sleep. Go and sleep, you'll reset, you'll be all right. So that is what everybody follow. And most of the try to follow. So if they feel low, go and sleep. If they feel something else, they have to go and sleep. It will reset. And also, is it really a solution for most of the problem?
Sleep is very important because it is one of the very important biological functions of a brain or human being. Okay, and sleep basically recharges, regenerates, recuperates all our brain cells. So people will be able to think with more clarity. Their attention span will increase if they have a good sleep, proper sleep, and they will be able to function more aptly, better when they had a good sleep. Okay, lack of sleep will cause a lot of attention problems, lot of concentration problems. They have problems with decision making and all these things. Now, how much sleep is required for an individual? If you say infant, 18 to 20 hours sleep they sleep. Okay, by the age of 5 it is like 12 to 14 hours they sleep. By the age of 18, 12 hours, 7 to 9 hours is the sleep. Okay, and by 50 it is 4 to 6 hours sleep. So sleep cycle will be like this. Okay, పిల్లలు 18-20 hours పడుకుంటారు. కొంత పెద్దగా అయిన తర్వాత 18-20 hours will convert into 12 to 14 hours, then 10 to 12 hours, then from around say 15 years to 45-50 years we sleep around 6 to 8 hours is a good sleep. Okay, 6 to 8 hours పడుకుంటున్నారంటే they have a sufficient sleep. 50 తర్వాత again there is a decline in the sleep time. Okay, so they may sleep for 4 to 6 hours. అందుకే మనకి వెనకటికి if you see ముసలోళ్ళు ఉన్న ఇంట్లో దొంగలు పడరు అనేటప్పుడు, అవునా, because they don't sleep. They sleep for only 4 hours or 5 hours. సో అట్లా ఉంటుంది. And lack of sleep definitely is an important symptom of many of the mental health conditions. Okay.
And we understand that there's an exception to the quota which we have given here. There is a concept called short sleepers. 4 hours or less lo padukoni complete functioning baane untundantaru. Does it also actually affect in the way you are saying?
Yes. There is a section of people who are called as short sleepers. They sleep for 4 to 6 hours or 4 hours for that matter. But you have to see them over a period of time.
How does it affect them
on a long run? Long run lo will they be effective in the same manner? Will they be productive in the same manner? అనేటువంటిది అది that should focus on that.
A lot of us these days identify themselves as night owls. Night ఎక్కువ యాక్టివ్గా ఉంటాము అనే ఒక ఫీలింగ్ ఉంటారు. Do you think that, I mean, a common practice, I understand daytime is for working and nighttime is for sleeping, but చాలా మంది నైట్ ఎక్కువ యాక్టివ్గా ఉంటారు, అప్పుడు ఎక్కువ అండర్స్టాండింగ్ ఉంటుంది, సో చదువుకోవడానికి ప్రొడక్టివ్ వర్క్ చేయడానికి ప్రయత్నిస్తూ ఉంటారు. డస్ ఇట్ అఫెక్ట్ నెగటివ్లీ ఆర్ ఈజ్ ఇట్ ఆల్సో యాక్సెప్టబుల్ టు సర్టన్ ఎక్స్టెంట్?
Globalization, effect of globalization, we are having shift work systems. Okay. And even if you take this part of the world, Singareni employees చాలా మంది కూడా they go for the night shifts. Okay. Whatever the period, see, it's about setting our rhythm. Okay. Now you are here, tomorrow if you are in US, 18 hours is the time gap, isn't it? 12 to 18 hours, 14 to 16 hours is the time gap. Don't we reset our biological clock? Okay. So shift work system, no, we initial phase of the shift changes, they will have problems. Okay. And then gradually they become.
దే ఆర్ కంపెన్సేటింగ్ ద నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ అవర్స్. మన నైట్ షిఫ్టే అనుకుందాం సింగరేణి వాళ్ళు. నైట్ అంతా పనిచేస్తారు, వచ్చిన తర్వాత దట్ నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ అవర్స్ అకార్డింగ్ టు దేర్ ఏజ్ మార్నింగ్లో కంపెన్సేట్ చేయగలిగితే ఇస్ ఇట్ స్టిల్ బెటర్? ఓకే. సో నైట్ అవర్స్ ఆర్ స్టిల్ బెటర్. దే ఎప్పుడు ప్రొడక్టివ్గా ఉంటున్నాం అనేది ఇష్యూ కాదు, కానీ వీ హ్యావ్ టు కంపెన్సేట్ ద నెంబర్ ఆఫ్ రెస్ట్.
See, the sleep hours should be constant. Okay. Rhythm, అందుకే they don't shift from morning shift to direct night shift అనేది. There is a ergonomics principle that they follow. Gradually only they put them into shift changes.
Yeah.
సో మార్నింగ్ షిఫ్ట్ లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళని ఫస్ట్ మధ్యాహ్నం షిఫ్ట్ లోకి వేస్తారు, దాని తర్వాత నైట్ షిఫ్ట్ లోకి వేస్తారు, నైట్ షిఫ్ట్ లోకి వేస్తారు మళ్ళీ మార్నింగ్. సో దే ఆల్సో ఫాలో దట్ ప్రిన్సిపల్. ఐ విల్ జస్ట్ టెల్ యూ అ స్టోరీ ఇన్ దిస్ రిగార్డ్. సో వన్ పర్సన్ వాస్ ట్రాన్స్ఫర్డ్ ఫ్రమ్ వన్ ఏరియా టు ది న్యూ ప్లేస్ వేర్ హిస్ క్వార్టర్ వాస్, he was allotted a quarter. His quarter was near to a railway station. Okay. So in the initial stages when he was in the initial period, every day he used to be disturbed by the train horn. Okay. And after 3 years, he was again transferred to a new place. There he was given a quarter. That place did not have a railway station, but he was still sleepless. So what is the common thing?
The disruption happened for very long time and then what?
అలవాటు అయిపోయింది, కండిషన్ అయిపోయింది. ఇక్కడికి వచ్చిన తర్వాత మళ్ళీ డీకండిషన్ అవ్వడం అనేది
Difficult right now.
No. ఆ సౌండ్ లేకపోతే రాదు.
మనకి ఇప్పుడు ఫ్యాన్ సౌండ్ లేకపోతే
రాదు. ఎండాకాలం ఆ సౌండ్ రావాలి. We put on 2 quilts but still that sound. Okay.
Nice. So, sir, I heard that Alzheimer's. So, period of extensive ఒక 10-20 years sleep adequate గా తీసుకోకపోవడం is also a symptom cause for Alzheimer's. So, I mean, recent గా we are hearing. So, we don't know by the time we grow to that age. I mean, if at all we have to take correction steps now. Sleep అనేది, I mean, how do you correlate sleep and Alzheimer's, and how we should be taking care of ourselves when we go grow old?
Yeah. See, one thing.
అడిషన్ టు దట్, ఇప్పుడు మనం కాంపన్సేట్ చేస్తే సరిపోతుంది, లైక్ బ్రేక్ చేసి కాంపన్సేట్ చేయడం.
Map. See, it should be a continuous sleep. Okay. That's when you are giving adequate time for the brain cells to recharge, recuperate. Okay. That should be the goal. Okay. Now coming back to your question. ఏమవుతుంది over a period of time when you are working and you are having problems with the sleep, your brain cells are getting weaker, they degenerate faster.
Okay.
They degenerate faster. So dementia is degeneration of brain cells basically. So chances of having problems with memory in late life are more when you have insomnia in your formative years or regular working years. Okay. Now what can we do to prevent? Have a good proper scheduled time for your sleep. Okay. Maintain your strict routines. Okay. Play sudoku or puzzle games. Okay. And we have recently the psychedelic exercises where doing the things with the wrong hand. Okay. These are some exercises. No, we always walk forward, so try walking backward. Okay. We always comb our hair with right hand, so try doing it with the left hand.
So
These are some things which are in the process. No, not much data, but these are some of the exercises that are prescribed.
other areas of the brain also get
activated. Compensatory mechanisms.
Yes.
Doing something different.
Nice. Learning new language.
Learning new language. Learning new language. Yes. See, without rest, brain can function for 95 hours. After 95 hours, you are dead. Okay.
So is it like the experiments which they have done?
Yes, yes. Nitaboli Guru. 5 days. Okay. 5 days is the maximum time.
From which hour or 95 is like the cutoff, and after how many hours you actually start seeing the productivity completely falling?
Within 24 hours. You can see, unless you are trained for longer periods of time, usual common human being, we can't do it.
So, sir, we were speaking about addiction some time ago. If I know addiction anedi is a disease and it's not something which is a habit overused.
Not a habit anymore, it's
Correct.
a disease.
But if an individual wants to be cautious about it, వాళ్ళకి ఏదైనా మార్కర్స్ ఉంటాయా? ఓకే, ఇది ఒక సోషల్ ఇష్యూ నుంచి, ఒక సోషల్ డ్రింకింగ్ ఆర్ సోషల్ యూస్ నుంచి ఎక్కువ అవుతుంది, నా చేయి దాటిపోతుంది అనే ఒక కాన్సెప్ట్ అర్థం అవడానికి, ఇఫ్ ఐ వాంట్ టు బీ కాషియస్ అబౌట్ ఇట్, హౌ కెన్ ఐ డూ దట్?
One thing is, బేసికల్గా చెప్పాలంటే అట్లా స్పెసిఫిక్ బయోమార్కర్స్ అనేటువంటి ఏం లేవు. ఓకే, బట్ వన్స్ వెన్ ద ఫ్యామిలీ స్టార్ట్స్ టు కంప్లైన్ or a person is spending excess time or thinking about how to procure the substance for the day. ఓకే, మార్నింగ్ లేవగానే ఇవాళ నాకు ఎవడు తాగిపిస్తాడు, నేను ఎక్కడ తాగాలి, ఇవాళ మనం నా మందు కావాల్సినటువంటి డబ్బులు ఎలా సంపాదించుకోవాలి. ఇఫ్ హీస్ ప్రియాక్యుపైడ్ విత్ దిస్ థాట్, దట్ ఈస్ ద ఫస్ట్ సైన్.
Microsoft, when Satya Nadella came in as a CEO, he is first non-founder CEO. So, I mean, if at all a board meeting was there before appointing him, board meeting lo there are 6 other people who also can be the CEO, but they picked him. So he has some competition internally. So he has to prove himself somehow, and Microsoft also already overachieved. ఇప్పుడు ఒక పర్సన్ కి 80% వస్తే చాలు అంటే 95% ఇచ్చినట్టు, Microsoft already over their goal is to put computer on everybody's desk. Microsoft achieved that. So ఆ టైంలో సత్యనారాయణ పెట్టినప్పుడు he has nothing to offer. సో అతను బ్యాక్ వెళ్ళి వాట్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు చేంజ్ అని చూసినప్పుడు ఇంటర్నల్ గా మైక్రోసాఫ్ట్ కల్చర్ బాగాలేదు. సో క్యారెక్టర్ కల్చర్ సైకాలజీ, హీ బ్రాడ్ బిహేవియరల్ సైంటిస్ట్ అండ్ మోడల్ కోచ్ కేర్, అంటే చిన్న మేనేజర్స్ కూడా కోచ్ ఎలా ఉండాలి. సో దిస్ ఏరియా ఈస్ సమ్ వాట్ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ టు డీల్ విత్ అండ్ leveraging on psychology. These areas we want your support also, your inputs also in future, how we can together bring a better organization character or something like that.
Like, you have to understand the employees strengths ఏమున్నాయి. Okay, we all work on weaknesses, we don't work on strengths. Okay,
Yeah.
so we have to work on strengths also. If someone is good at something, we need to have him where his strength can be utilized maximum, rather than, see, as an organization we will have some goals and we try to make the employee fit to our goals. Kada, so he might be having some other his strength may be useful to the company but in a different manner. So we have to have that inclination to understand what their strengths are. అక్కడ మనం ఏం వర్క్ చేయొచ్చు, హౌ దట్ కెన్ బి మౌల్డెడ్ టు ఇంప్రూవ్ ది ఆర్గనైజేషన్ అనేది యూ కెన్ థింక్ ఆఫ్. I had come across one video on Instagram where this one person was working in Ministry of Home Affairs Central. He was also an IT employee with Microsoft or something. And after working for 6-7 years continuously, he realized that this is not what he wanted to do.
6 years career.
He went into depression basically. Okay, he went into depression. He was having burnout symptoms. He realized that his family, friends, all these things have taken a backseat. He quit everything, gave himself one good year for himself, stopped everything, concentrated on his physical fitness, mental well-being, and reached out to his family members, friends, hanged out, and he's now back at work.
there's a concept called right fit, HRలో చదివితే, and a lot of times we would come across psychometric analysis అనేది చేస్తూ ఉంటారు to understand if the person is the right fit for the organization. And మీ టేక్ ఏంటి దాని మీద, ఎంతవరకు అది రిలయబుల్, ఎంతవరకు అది అసలు యాక్చువల్ పర్సన్ గురించి చెప్తుంది, అండ్ డూ ఎంప్లాయర్స్ యాక్చువల్లీ మేక్ ద బెస్ట్ యూస్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్?
కంపాటబిలిటీ ఇండెక్స్ అనేది ఒకటి ఉంటుంది. ఓకే, so if I have to work with one organization, we both have to undergo a compatibility index, which is synonymous with jatakalu in our marriage.
Yeah.
Okay, so compatibility index, I have some personality traits, my employer will have some personality traits. Okay, కొంత నాల డామినెన్స్ ఉంటుంది, కొన్ని ఇష్యూస్లో తనకు డామినెన్స్ ఉంటుంది, బట్ వెదర్ యాజ్ అ టీమ్ వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు మేక్ అ గుడ్ team. Okay, a good one, where our productivity, each other's skills and deficiencies, both should help the organization.
Yeah.
Okay, akkada productivity better. So something right fit, what you're talking about,
With the compatibility index.
what are the goals of the organization, what are the strengths of the individual, what are the weaknesses of the individual, whether those weaknesses can be overshadowed by strengths, or whether those weaknesses can also be used to the companies to suit the company's organization's goals. So how best they are fitting in is
There is a gap between every concept. Like we also thought మనకి ఎంత ఎక్స్టెన్సివ్గా మెడికల్ హెల్త్ మీద రీసెర్చ్ ఉన్నా, పీపుల్ హూ ఆర్ యాక్చువల్లీ యూటిలైజింగ్ దెమ్ ఆర్ వెరీ లెస్. అలాగే there's a lot of things which go into psychometric analysis and the tests. కానీ ఆర్గనైజేషన్స్ యాక్చువల్లీ యూజింగ్ దట్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్ ఆఫ్టర్ టేకింగ్ ద టెస్ట్ ఆన్ ఎంప్లాయీస్ వన్స్ దే ఆర్ ఇన్సైడ్, అది తక్కువ.
my brother was is a software engineer. He was working with Polycom అనేటువంటి, దాని తర్వాత he went to Bangalore and now he's working with Dolby Digital Systems in Australia. Okay, when he first 2-3 jobs తర్వాత fourth job when he went in there, his only USP was his comedy. Okay, he was very jovial at the interview, he was being satirical also at times, because at that point of time he had already had a high paying job. This was just a casual interview laga velladu. Okay, so they said that like, we like your attitude and then come. Okay, so we need to, they felt that, you know, having this kind of person with this attitude is also helpful.
Yes, there are organizations.
So yeah, and there are a list of movies which ideally ఇప్పుడు like how we mentioned Gani, or we can take Gajini, ఇలా ఏ సిచ్యువేషన్లోనో ఐదర్ ఫిజికల్ ఇష్యూస్ ఆర్ మెంటల్ ఇష్యూస్ బేస్ చేసుకొని చాలా మూవీస్ వస్తూ ఉంటాయి. ద అక్యురసీ మే నాట్ బి 100% ఆఫ్ ద ఇష్యూస్ దేర్, బట్ హౌ మచ్ దాని వెయిటేజ్ ఎలా ఉంటుంది అంటారు, ఎడ్యుకేషనల్ పర్పస్ వర్సెస్?
సో వన్ నేను ఒకడినే చూసిన తర్వాత దే నో అబౌట్
Not only that, if you see Tare Zameen Par, okay, after that we are seeing more patients opening up with SLDs, dyslexias. Okay, media has a great impact. Okay, it can be both positive and negative. It is the same media that has portrayed psychiatry in a negative sense, especially when it comes to a procedure called ECT, electroconvulsive therapy, which is shock treatments, what in a local layman's language. So they have shown it like if they give, they become completely a changed person, they forget everything, and but that's not a reality, and that has created a lot of stigma in the minds of people, who actually started to say or taunt each other whenever the other person is not to their understanding. Shock is it not? So that effect is also there, this effect is also there. So there is a great sense of responsibility on media personals to project what, I mean, like more accurately on what exactly is the situation.
this is our attempt to preserve knowledge as a videographic evidence and reuse whenever it finds useful to us. And if at all someone other than our team finds this useful because we are making it publicly available, we might not be the best presenters or best hosts, but we enjoyed every bit of the video and we had a great time. Hope you all have same. See you next time. Bye.